Hello everyone, welcome back to Game Dev Night. First of all, I'm a little bit sick right now. Well, very sick. Um, but I thought I have the opportunity to actually record as like a roommate's home for once. So yeah, I've made a little bit of progress in Godot. I guess this is one of my Godot experience videos. So yeah, I have a bit to show. Still don't have mouse and headset at the same time, so I can't really easily show you because I don't have my mouse. Um, but yeah, it's a little bit of a pain, but I just want to show you some progress. So I got to start with UI. I have this little coin float right here. Well, text. It just displays the coins I have. Um, and I just have a few objects in my scene. So I have a player, and I've been using this component system that I saw in a video. Um, it's pretty cool. So it's essentially like on Unity having a script just called like health script or whatever, and you just do get component health script. This is the same thing but in Godot. So this is essentially like copying Godot's Unity's component system but in Godot of nodes. So it's a little weird, but it makes it very easy. So instead of having like a super class called like unit, and that class has health, movement speed, hitbox, all that stuff. So instead of that, because yes, that is good for mass production of units and such. Let's say you put an object in your game like a box, right, or a chest or a tree or anything, right? That doesn't need damage. Why does that have damage, or why does it have movement? See, so that's the one issue with having a superclass is when it gets to you having multiple things. There's that issue because your tree doesn't need movement speed. I mean, if your trees move around, that's up to you, your game. But so yeah, so this is I forgot what they call it. There's a name for it in object-oriented programs. But yeah, so it's just instead of there being a superclass, there's instead a separate component for everything. So there's a health component right here. There's a hitbox component for the hitbox. There's a collision component. I'm actually very curious. What is this? I don't know what that blue is. Oh, that's the camera. Sorry about that. That blue outline in the back's camera. Ignore me. So there's a health component, hitbox component, a damage component, and then a health bar component. So yeah, anything I drag these components on, it just works. So it all just works out of the box. They'll have their own code. I'll show you quickly. So here's a damage component. It literally just has a value called damage. It's just a float. So this just gives any unit I put it on damage. And then the drop component just has a function called drop coins, and this is just it tells the player info, which is a public. So Godot has these really cool things. I'll show you quickly. They're called autoload. They're called autoload whatever, autoload script. So you have this, it's always there. So it's a little strange. So I can access that from anywhere. It's like having a public class in Unity on a object, but you don't need to reference it or anything. It just works. Like there's no, it's strange. I can't really explain it because I'm still learning, but yeah. So it just tells that script that's always running. It's just adding to its coins, which is just a coins amount that the drop component has. Of course, in future, this drop component might drop items and stuff as well, but this is just very basic code for me to learn. This is just a learning project, by the way. Yeah, I really wanted to keep working on that farming game in the last Godot experience video, but yeah, I need to learn this stuff. And the farming game, it's a little bit too difficult to head straight into something of not complex systems, but it's a little bit more complex than like a simple little roguelike. I've made a lot of roguelikes, small ones, but yeah. So then the health bar component, same thing. So they all just reference each other. They all just have bunch of values, and they're all just there's no like referencing I have to do when I put that component on something. I just put it on it and put values in. Like it's very simple and easy. Here's the health component. This one's a little bit more complex. It has a lot going on because I don't really know what I'm doing yet. So if you know Godot, please don't, please don't have at me. I know this. I can just, I know this. There's something wrong with this right here. I know there is. Like you don't have to tell me. I know there's something I can do better here. So that's the next thing I'm gonna focus on is cleaning up my code a bit and figuring out referencing a bit better because I think I'm dead sure this is not how referencing is meant to look. This is like in Unity if you do game object dot get child dot get child dot get this get that. Like this is wrong. I know this is wrong. Please don't. Please just leave me alone. So yeah, this has a heal function which doesn't do anything yet. I just put it in so that it's there. It's going to be percentage max health healing, so it's just a little bit more simple for me. Um, you see, it's just the max health divided by the heal amount plus equals health. So and if the health's bigger than the max health, like if he overhealed a bit, which he literally can't, but if he does overheal, just set his health to max health. And this is wrong. See, this is why I like making videos, because then I spot things like that. So, anyways, um, yeah, so this just instantiates a cool little explosion effect that I made. So that's a cool little explosion particle. And it just tells the drop component to drop coins, and it just tells the that's the coin display, my little coin UI. It just tells the coin UI to update, and yeah, this is how GameObject.destroy looks. It's .q free. It's kind of strange, but it's cool. Get parent.q free. So it's telling the parent of the health component. So this is the health component is telling the parent, which is the player, to destroy. So this is just deleting the player if he dies. Then you got the hitbox. This is very simple. Um, so this is using signals. So this signals to the so this is the hitbox, right? So this is like a box collider. This signals to the health component that it touched something, and it gives that value. It's really cool. So it tells health component what touched it. Body is the thing that touched it. So uh, it gets the signal, which you don't even really have to like. I don't even know. I can't even remember. I don't remember what this is, right? So I'm just gonna like leave it for now. Actually, it's on the player. It's on the player, I think. No, it's not. Okay, ignore me, please. It's referencing somewhere. I can't remember right now. I made this like a few days ago. I've been working on other things. Yeah, I'm working on this other really big project with a friend, and yeah, I'll give a little sneak peek of that in a sec while at the end of the video. So let's move on. So yeah, hitbox just emits a signal to the health component, which tells it got hit, and it tells what hit it. So the health component checks. Oh wait, no, sorry, no, other way around. So this hitbox component checks if it hits something, does it have a health component, and then it emits signal body instead of health. So sorry, no. This does not talk to. This talks to the parent. Or whatever subscribes to this. Sorry. So I have this projectile script, which is just a bullet, and it just listens for that signal. So it's very simple, very cool way to do things. So this just emits a signal, and anything I make, so like a bullet, maybe fire, just anything at all that has like a hitbox and it's meant to damage things, it'll just have this. So it just listens for the signal. So it just listens for literally right here. So if it detects this signal, it'll do something. So, and it has the value for what it is. So yeah, cool stuff. I can't really explain it. I'm very sorry. I know it's, I don't know. I'm still new to Godot. I'm still learning. It's also very hard because the 4.0 update just came out and there's like no tutorials on anything. There's a few, but they're really like outdated. There's so many patches that just come out non-stop and just changes everything. I'd love to make more tutorials, but this laptop, I managed to fix it up a little bit. That's why there's no face cam. The laptop just face cam plus the laptop's base resolution, which is 4K, like all that. I made a lot of adjustments. Spent a long time adjusting settings in OBS, and yeah, it's smooth now. But it's yeah. So I'd love to make more tutorials, but it's so rough. So here's the player script. Very simple. Ignore all of this. This is just referencing. Um, this is it's kind of weird. So there is no like, instead of there being like a you're just having like a public game object bullet prefab, and you just drag in your bullet prefab. You just load it straight like this. So it's this is just like having a public game object and dragging in the value. But yeah, so I'm doing everything manually. I'm not using the physics stuff like the rigid body or player control, all that stuff. I'm doing everything manually. So this is like just having a transform. This is like just having an empty object and just doing my own stuff. But yeah, so if you press left, it just flips the player. Press right, flips it back. So that's just looking left and right. And then of course here, if you press up, down, left, right, it's minus speed, minus speed, plus speed. It's just up, down, left, right. It tells the pivot, which is the like fire point, like the direction a gun should shoot. It's just telling it to point to the mouse. And if input released shoot, so if I click, then it's going to shoot. And shoot just obviously instantiates the object. It tells its direction to be the pivot's direction. It tells its rotation to be the same as the pivot's rotation. I might just be able to remove one of these, but I'm going to clean up the code after this video. I just wanted to make a video before I do that, because next video, which should be in a few days, I'm not going to make any promises, but I'm going to work on this now today, fix up the code, clean it up, and work on my referencing stuff. And then it just tells the projectile to be spawned at the fire point and get parent.add child projectile. So yeah, it's a little weird. So you tell the root node, which is like your scene. So in Unity, you have your scene, right? This is essentially telling the scene to add this as a child. So yeah, it's a little weird. It's like you're instantiating it and nothing. Like it's not actually there. So if this wasn't here, if I didn't make it a child of the root node, then that just wouldn't exist. It's it's a little odd. Yeah. Anyway, I can't explain it. But yeah, let's just move on. So there's the player info, which is just coins. Player currency, it's just a display for the coins. I love that there's no like I just do text equals there's no like get component text dot blah blah blah, like it's just text equals coins plus player info dot coins. It's so cool. Also yeah, this is how the to string looks in Godot. It's a little different. It's just str in brackets, so you put in the value, so any float or int turns into a string. It can't just straight up like display the floats. It has to be a string. So you just do str, turns it into a string. And then the player projectile, which just checks if it hits something. If it has an alpha bar component, then it tells it to take damage, and it kills itself. And of course, the movement direction, blah blah blah. Yep, just simple coding stuff. Anyways, this has been going on for too long, so let's go back into 2D. I can't really zoom out without a mouse properly. So player has a camera. Cool, camera's really cool. So this is the camera size right here. This pink outline. And then that little blue outline around the player, let's zoom back in a little bit. So that little blue box around the player is a dead zone for the camera. So the camera actually won't move. You'll see. But yeah, it's really cool. And then the player projectile, very simple. It's just a sprite, hitbox, and blah, blah, blah. Crate, same thing, just hitbox, sprite, blah, blah. Health bar. I'm really proud of this health bar. It looks simple, but actually looks really cool in game. So that's health bar, simple stuff. Enemy and castle, these have not been touched yet. They don't do anything yet. This is what I'm going to be working on next. There's no actual enemies yet that like spawn and come to you. So that's what I'm going to work on next. Going to make the enemies. The castle's going to spawn enemies, and yeah, so you're just going to defend against the castle. But so yeah, this is just a test scene. There's nothing really to show too much, but I'm going to show you something cool. I'm going to hit play, and it's not going to be frozen. Wow. So I'm not too sure. I don't do too much testing. I want to press full screen, but I'm scared it breaks. Because OBS, yeah. So as you can see, there's a little bit of a dead zone. So I can like move around a little bit without the camera moving. And if you move, it's a very smooth camera. So I hope you guys like it. I really like this camera. It feels really good. Um, Also, if I get this into like a little bit of a working stage, like enemies come, there's a shop system, all that stuff. I think this will be my first project I put on itch. We'll see. And if I keep working on it a lot, I'll definitely put it on Steam or something in future. But yeah, because I'm really digging the art style. But you know me, things happen, and I just lose interest in projects pretty easily. But yeah, this is just testing, so there's no promises here. This is just a test project. But if I end up working on it a lot, I will definitely put on itch. because I think it's very satisfying. So one issue, you see C, so that's so that's the text display, right? It's a label. So in Unity, this would just be like a text object or whatever. You could see the first letters in the it's the middle of the screen. It doesn't follow around or anything in the UI. Um, so you'll see it's up there, coins, oins. So that's an issue with integrated graphics cards with Godot. So it's a little strange. I'm sure other game engines like Unity and stuff will also have its own quirks with integrated graphics. Unity probably won't even run with integrated graphics, maybe in 2D, but Unity is very intensive. But yeah, so just ignore that. That works. I have tested it. I sent it to my brother. He has an actual PC, so he ran the game. None of these bugs happen. This is just my integrated graphics card. So try ignore that. I'm very sorry about that. I spent hours trying to fix it, but you just can't. It's not really yeah. So you'll see I can shoot. It shoots out little swords. That was my first particle I've ever made in Godot. Nice little explosion. But yeah, so you'll see the health works. I shoot them, they take damage. Everything works. So it's just a simple little shooting system. I'm planning on making this melee. For now, you just shoot the swords, which you can find kind of fun. You might just leave it like that, honestly. And here's the knight and the castle. So it's going to be the enemy, and that castle is going to be the spawner. So yeah, well, lots of progress to be made. But yeah, so this should hopefully help me with learning referencing, because of course this will have a wave manager. This will reference the enemies, put them on a list, all these good stuff, and have a currency-based wave system, like money-based. So it'll like each enemy will have a value for how much they cost to spawn. Whatever. That'll be in the next video if I make another one. But yeah, so very cool. They don't do anything yet. But yeah, the player stuff works. I know I can't really show you, but I have tested it. But I deleted that test for some reason. I just had a different projectile that checks for the player layer instead. So yeah, if a sword hits the player, it does reduce his health. Obviously, these swords are the players, so they don't collide with them. But yeah, they do damage the player, and a player can die. I don't really know what's going to happen yet. I haven't tested what happens when you destroy a camera. And Unity does not like when you destroy cameras. It'll, yeah, probably pretty much break your game, depending, obviously. But yeah, so cool. That's my progress, guys. There's the next Godot experience, I guess. So far, really liking it. There's a few things that are a little bit stingy. A few things I don't like too much, but overall, I think this is still my opinion. If you are a indie dev working on your own, you're not really have too big dreams of games. Godot, 100%. Unity, there's just too many issues with it, and licensing and all these stuff. Godot is fully open source. Everything you see right now is made in Godot. This UI, all of this is Godot. You can do quite literally anything you want with Godot except say you own it. So as long as you don't say it's yours, you can do whatever. You can change everything about this. You can rename all these menus. You can restyle everything. You can quite literally do whatever you want with this game engine. Fully open source. The whole game engine's code and everything is in GitHub or whatever. I don't know where they have it. I haven't even checked it out. But yeah, so the community is pretty much making this project, this game engine. So it's so much nicer than Unity. It's really catching up really fast. And 3D, yes, performance isn't nearly as good as Unity yet, but people have made really nice looking things. The shader system, the generation system, all that stuff, beautiful. And the shading is very good as well in 3D. Obviously, I can't show you right now, but yeah, shading looks very good. And this, yeah, it's just great, man. I have no issues with Godot so far. I don't have any. Look at this. I don't have any errors for no reason, like in Unity when it's like failed to load, blah blah blah, and this and that, all these like random errors that just shouldn't be there. And also something else to note is Godot is pixel perfect. So if you have a crate right next to a crate, I mean, I could probably show you, but I'm using a mouse pad. I don't even want to try. So If you have a pixel perfect image next to another pixel perfect image, like exactly against each other, there will be no screen tear as you're moving. Nothing. Unity, GameMaker, all these things have that issue. Godot doesn't. So yeah, Godot just has a bunch of good stuff. But definitely, I think the UI stuff is a little, a little overcomplicated compared to like Unity. I think Unity's UI is definitely better. Unity has a lot of good stuff. I love Unity. I'm not just trying to absolutely say Unity's horrible. I still think it's great, especially if you're new. But I think Godot is a little bit harder as a beginner. Personally, I know a lot of people are going to be like, "That's not true," but Godot is harder as a beginner. I'm just saying it right now. Even I'm struggling, and I've been using Unity for over a year, and I struggle so much to get a simple thing done in Godot. That might just be me, but I think it's great. It's really good. And again, it has two languages basically built in. C Sharp and GDScript work perfectly. And C Sharp has just as much availability as GDScript. I know a lot of people are like, it's better to go for GDScript. The thing is, there's more videos using GDScript, but the actual documentation, all that stuff, has all the C Sharp support. So if you're someone who just reads documentation, doesn't really watch tutorials and stuff, C Sharp if you want, whatever. So it has. There's just I just don't see a reason to go back to Unity at this stage. I will still make videos on Unity in future, but on this laptop, definitely not. It can barely use Godot, and Godot is like pretty much the lowest like performance consumption game engine. Like it just, except for maybe like Scratch, but it doesn't use anything. Unity would, and it already messes up this laptop, so Unity would just destroy this laptop. But yeah. Here's a little sneak peek. Uh, oh, never mind. I can't zoom out. I can't zoom out. I can't even show you. Guys, I no, 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 no. I didn't mean. Oh man, this stinks. Yeah, you can't actually. Oh, wait, maybe I can. Oh, there's hope. Oh, can I? There's a sneak peek, guys. Look, it's a card. Yeah, this is like the only. I'm just gonna show this image. I'm not gonna. This is a very behind the scenes project. I don't even really want to show this, but I just want to give a little bit of a sneak peek. But yeah, so very big thing I'm working on in the background. Um, yeah, you are not prepared for what this is gonna be. Uh, yeah, so that's the whole point of me doing all this stuff in Godot, learning it, so I can work on a project. I'm gonna make a very big project in Godot and see how that goes. So yeah. Anyways, guys, this has been a long video, so I'm gonna say my goodbyes now. But yeah, I'm gonna work on this. Should be another Godot experience video in future. I think I'll just make them for now. I'm not gonna make any tutorials or anything. Uh, But yeah, I'm definitely going to make a tutorial video on getting into Godot from Unity. So from a Unity perspective, how everything works in Godot. So scenes, all that stuff, game objects, referencing, all that stuff. Because there is not a video so far like that. There are videos kind of similar. Like if you watch a game developer who uses Unity, like try out Godot for the first time, they'll be like, oh, this is kind of similar to Unity. But I'll make an actual video that goes in depth with pretty much using Godot as if you're a Unity user. So it'll just explain everything very simply. Cause yeah, it's very simple. It's a nice game engine. I like it. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Wish me luck. I'm gonna get on with coding now, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And have a nice day. Bye bye.